Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm really excited about this video. I'm going to be talking about getting started before you're ready. And just before I get started, I do want to say, of course, I'm not the original person who came up with this idea or who has, I'm not the only person who has felt this way, but I do believe that if you hear something in a certain way at a certain time by a certain person, sometimes it'll make things just click. So, this is me sharing something that is on my heart, something that I feel like I'm going through currently, and something that I know a lot of other people are too. So let's get started. So, getting started before you are ready. I heard this wonderful quote that is like, it basically says, you can't expect all of the lights to be green, right? Like pretty much if you're driving down the road, or let's say that you're trying to get to a certain destination, it's 10 miles away. Do you expect for every light on your way there to be green? And some people might argue, like, oh, it's happened before, that's happened to me. Sure, but every single time, it's just unrealistic. It's not going to happen. And I think wanting every single light to be green, metaphorically, or wanting everything to be perfect or to be a certain way before you take steps forward is literally the number one reason for failure. And I don't even know if I would classify it as failure because you're not even beginning, you're not even starting. And I've done this myself in business, I've done this in relationships, I've done this in friendships, I've done this pretty much in every area of my life. And up until recently, the past couple of years, it's gotten to the point where I've just like, am like, okay, I can't keep operating this way. And if I do keep operating this way, I'm never going to accomplish my dreams. It's like a endless cycle, right? You have this big idea, you want to execute, but then you're like, oh, well, I don't have enough followers. I don't have an audience. I don't have the right equipment. I don't know if I can do that. It's like all of these reasons for why you can't start flooding into your mind. And then you start focusing on all the reasons why you can't. And then naturally, because that's where you're focusing your energy and your attention, it brings that situation or it brings that scenario about into this reality, into the real world. So, I'll give you an example. This YouTube channel, I've been making YouTube videos for years now, on and off. I'll get a wind of excitement and then I'll stop, and then another wind of excitement and then I'll stop again. And recently, this next bout of me getting started with YouTube videos, I was just like, oh, I don't know. Like, I don't have the right equipment. I wanted to be like in my own place by now. I wanted to, have this really high definition camera. I wanted to have mics. I wanted to have editing. I wanted to be like podcast style. Like I'm using Zoom because my laptop doesn't record for some reason. I have to go to Apple to get that checked out, but I literally for weeks just came up with all these different reasons of why I shouldn't upload to YouTube. And it prevented me for a really, really long time. I've had all of these ideas to make videos. I've had these things that I've wanted to say in whatever format, and I've just stopped myself simply because I was like, oh, it's not going to look right. I'm not going to get followers. I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to get that, basically saying everything to go against myself and to stop me from doing it. And after uploading a couple of videos or thinking about it and then not posting it, thinking about it, not posting, I was just finally like, you know what? I don't care. I'm sick of having these ideas in my head. I'm sick of thinking the same thoughts literally over and over and over and over and over and not executing on them simply because I'm coming up with a million and one excuses as to why it won't work. Like, so I just sat down, I opened up my laptop, and I was just like, I'm just going to record. I'm going to post it. I don't care how many views it gets. I don't care if anybody comments. I don't care if anybody follows me. And when I say these things, y'all, I genuinely mean it. And that I feel like is the best way to go about things. Not to say that I don't care about like the craft of creation or art or things like that, but when you really truly do it because you want to and because you're having fun and because you know that you're going to get better in the future and that this is not the end all be all, it's like a huge weight is lifted off your shoulder. Even making this video, I was just like, "Oh, I don't know because, well, if I uploaded this day then this, and oh, I don't know, I don't want to wear this, and I have no eyebrow." Like, I was going through everything. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm finally sitting in front of the screen recording, I'm just like, I feel better. It's like one little thing that I can check off, and yeah, it might not be perfect. I'm sitting in my bedroom and at my grandmother's house, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be in my own space, in my own apartment. I wanted to have all these things together, but at the end of the day, what's most important is that the message gets out. And I have a lot of ideas in my head, which I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably do too. It's like maybe you want to write a book, maybe you want to start posting content online, maybe you want to do something to help someone. And it's just like there is a voice inside your head that's going to tell you why you can't. And I'm here to tell you, you have to ignore that voice. Like your ability to be great depends on you ignoring that voice. Okay. Now, obviously, if you're in a dangerous situation or, actually, I'm going to go back and say that there aren't really stipulations because there's a difference between instinct and knowing when you're in danger and knowing when, like, you know what I'm saying? A feeling versus a voice or a feeling of being a fraud or not, you're not going to be successful or, oh, you can't do this. Like, I think we really should ignore the voice in our head. And another point too, I think that oftentimes the voices that we're hearing in our head that sound like us, telling us that we can't do something or giving us reasons why we can't accomplish certain things, I really don't think that it's us. I've been learning a lot of really interesting information. Maybe I'll link it below or share it at a different time. But I genuinely do believe that sometimes when we have these doubts and when we don't trust in ourselves and when we think that we can't do something just because everything isn't falling into place or everything isn't lined up exactly how it needs to be or how it needs to go in our mind, that's something completely outside of us, outside of our highest potential that we know that we can be that is trying to alter the direction in which we're going for whatever reason. You could say that it's entities that feed off a negative energy. You could say that it's the devil if you believe in God and the devil, higher powers, whatever. Um, So I really do or I really have actually found it beneficial just even in the last few weeks, to ignore that voice and just to say, "You know what? I'm done listening to you. I'm done giving you thought energy. I'm done basing decisions in my day off of whether or not this voice is gonna be loud or gonna be quiet." Like, I'm over it. And another point that I wanna make too is that sometimes when you share things with other people even, friends, family, sometimes they're gonna tell you that you're not ready, or they're not going to see the full vision or the bigger picture, and you really have to ignore those voices as well. If it's something that you really want to do, or if it's something that you really want to accomplish, or even if you have an idea that you have not been able to get out of your head for a period of time, I'm not gonna say like, "Oh, for a year or for this or that," but if you have reoccurring thoughts of something that you want to do that is positive and that can impact people and that can help others, I really think that you should act on it instead of saying, "Well, I don't have enough money. Well, I don't have enough time. Well, oh, the equipment. I don't have the right equipment to record the content, to post what I want to do." Like, bump all that and literally just sit in knowing that if you have the thought, you have it for a reason. There is a reason why you want to start that clothing brand. There is a reason why you want to take that course or that class. There is a reason why you want to write that book. Somebody needs you. Like, literally, you have to start before you're ready because somebody needs you. And it might be somebody who needs you now. It might be somebody who needs you 10 years from now. Like, I've literally come across materials, podcasts, books, articles online from decades ago, okay? Or even written something that's written decades ago. And I literally have moments of gratitude where I'm like, thank God that this person wrote this. Like, thank God that they did not let themselves get caught up in the tiny little steps that they're perceiving that it's going to take or all the obstacles and challenges that they think that it's going to take to get to where they need to be and that they just did it. They wrote the first draft. Right? They created the first mock-ups for the design. They literally took the class, learned the information, and then relayed it to somebody. Like, whatever it is, literally just do it. Like, I'm telling you, when I tell you I found the most niche things that helped me and that are helping me on my journey, and it was kind of like an epiphany too, because as I was like, you know, studying and researching certain materials, I'm just like, wow, I'm so happy that this person wrote this or created this or, shared this. Like, I would be on a completely different path if this person did not share this or create this. And then it caused me to look at myself and I'm just like, ideas that I have and things that I want to do that I'm holding back on. Like, imagine the people that I could be helping, even if it's just one person. Or imagine, the things that I could be doing and the things that I could be creating that can maybe trigger a domino effect for somebody else. It's just like, it was a crazy realization, because it's like the realization that doubt is like, there's no purpose or reason for it. Like, we are conditioned to doubt ourselves. We are trained to have this feeling of, I don't know if I can accomplish it," and all this other stuff. It's like, that's not natural. That's really not how we're supposed to be functioning and operating and living. And please forgive me, y'all, if, like, I'm jumbled or what I'm saying is not making sense, but I really hope that it and pray that it hits somebody who it needs to hit, and that this information maybe, like, triggers another thought within you or triggers you to want to do something for you that can then translate to something that helps others. But yeah, I don't know, I just feel like, even I'm telling you, I wanted to make this video for, like, a week. An entire week I was thinking about it, and I was just like, "No, I don't have this, and I don't have that, and I can't do this, and I can't do that," and it's just like, now that I'm here sitting in front of the camera speaking to you, well, speaking to myself really, but now that I'm here, I'm just like, it feels like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders? So, I urge you, now that I'm coming to the conclusion of this video, I urge you to do something that you have been kind of, I don't even wanna say procrastinating, but doubting. Do something that you're kinda like, "Man, I've been thinking about this for a while, but I haven't pulled the trigger on it." And it could be anything. It could be looking up a resource, right? Like, let's say that you want to create a personal brand. How about you look up a YouTube video on how to do it? Or how about you take a course or a class, or that you join a session with somebody, because there's a bunch of people online and gurus who do, like, free video calls and sessions, like, join one? Or even something as simple as, like, writing it down. Literally go to Dollar Tree and get a notebook and start writing down your goals and writing down the things that you want to do, like, anything. Any little first step that you can take. If you're watching this video, I urge you to take it. And if you kind of have similar sentiments, or if you've thought of this before, or if you have any new perspectives on this subject, I would love to hear your guys' comments below. I do read every single comment. If you have push through self-doubt and push through the thoughts of, "Oh, I can't do this," and it ended up turning out really, really well for you, I would also love to hear that as well. Um, and yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys at the next video.